Even in America, there's this gun culture. Somebody will just wake up, go into a crowded place and shoot everybody, you know. And even with the kind of police, we're trained, the refined security system there, with technology, these things happen because you cannot predict human behavior. But now, trying to tie everything to herdsmen, we might be under the siege of a group of persons that want to give, you know, giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Most of these killings may not be herdsmen, because the regular herdsmen that I see, anytime I travel, I see them with their clubs, with their cows and cattle moving around. No, I don't see them with guns and the sophisticated weapons.
Former President Obasanjo also recently wrote a letter to President Buhari, especially because of the recent killing of Fasoranti, the Afenifere leader's death. His daughter was shot dead by suspected herdsmen. So Obasanjo has written another letter to President Muhammadu Buhari saying that he is scared that the former military ruler is leading us into a path of danger, irredeemable danger. What do you think about this?
I think they are both military personnel. Buhari was Obasanjo's boy. When Obasanjo was military head of state, Buhari was the Federal Commissioner for Petroleum. So it's not as if they are two persons trained to themselves. I think this issue of letters, I think no matter the point Obasanjo is trying to make, so long as he's trying to politicize those points, the person in power, who happens to be the chief security officer of Nigeria, who also is the #1 citizen of Nigeria and commander-in-chief of the Nigerian forces, no matter the advice you want to give him, you have access to him as a former president. So long as you start going public with what you want to tell him and you do it on the pages of newspaper, you are less likely to get the desired result that you want. I think if the channels of communication are open continually, I think the former president, should do well to reach out to the present, his boy, so to speak, so that they can iron out the issues of security. They are both in the National Executive Council. He can always liaise, you can always dialogue with him. So these are my fears for security in the country. It's not as if under Obasanjo there were no security issues. Under every president there are security issues. Even in America, there's this gun culture. Somebody will just wake up, go into a crowded place and shoot everybody, you know. And even with the kind of police, we're trained, the refined security system there, with technology, these things happen because you cannot predict human behavior. But now, trying to tie everything to herdsmen, we might be under the siege of a group of persons that want to give, you know, giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Most of these killings may not be herdsmen, because the regular herdsmen that I see, anytime I travel, I see them with their clubs, with their cows and cattle moving around. No, I don't see them with guns and the sophisticated weapons that, you know, people talk about. So who are these herdsmen? We have to find out who these herdsmen are. Are people masquerading as herdsmen? We have had cases of where I've been run into armed robbery attack where the people who robbed us wore military uniforms. How can we describe such? So these things need to be really put in the context of the present security realities. We cannot continue this blame game. The country belongs to all of us. Fasoranti's daughter died. It's very, very unfortunate. But it could just have been anybody. These things happen every day, nobody hears. Because it's the daughter of a personality in this country. That's why there's so much hue and cry. These incidents are happening every day. You remember what happened in Ikorodu when the so-called Bado boys were entering people's houses and killing them? You remember? So, do you call that herdsmen? So there are a lot of things going on in the country. All we should do, we all come together and work on this issue of security for the country. Let us all come together. If you suspect your neighbor of being a security threat, let the police know. Let's all work together. Pointing fingers, accusing fingers at one person. Buhari is just one person. I'm not a spokesperson, but it's not possible. Even under Obasanjo, there were issues of security.
Legit.ng, find hundreds of landlords close to you renting property at unbeatable prices. Gigi, sell faster, buy smarter.
Was it possible for him to be everywhere at the same time when he's not God? So I think we should all join together and fight this issue of insecurity in the country.